First of all, thanks very much for having us here. I think it's fantastic to see such energy in this room. And I must say that the previous conversation was a tough act to follow. But we are going to be talking about one of the most interesting topics, I think, which is about beauty redefined. What I love about this panel is that I have different perspectives. You're an editor, you're of course a designer, and you're also much more than that. And of course, I'm meeting Shreya for the first time. And so you bring in a lot of different perspectives here. Nonita, I'm going to start with you because I think the whole conversation about what beauty is and all of that is becoming a little passé, in the sense that I think we all know that this whole size zero debate is kind of useless beyond a point. I think editors as well are pushing this whole idea of fitness, of strength in what they're trying to show as beauty. But I want you to weigh in on this. How are we defining beautiful women these days in public media?
I started my career with Elle when fashion magazines had just launched. And the first issue, the French told us, you've got to use an Indian girl. Because they said when a magazine comes to a country, you must own your own idea of beauty. So we found a lovely girl from Pune who doesn't model anymore, but we actually went on a hunt and found this incredibly beautiful girl. She looked like the girl next door. From day one, we were told, make beauty accessible. She shouldn't look like a model who you can never be. Make it accessible, make her somebody who's strong. It's a very French idea of beauty. She should have a great haircut, but it shouldn't be fussy. Since then, Elle, Vogue, everyone has used Indian women because for us that is our idea of beauty. India across has so many different concepts of beauty. I look different from her, from her, from her. Everyone in this room looks different, but we're all extraordinarily beautiful. And I think fashion magazines get a bad rap. We're told we promote size zero, we don't promote thinking. One of the things Bazaar always says is, have a well-dressed mind. Beauty, and my favorite quote that I use too many times, I always say it's fashionable to be intelligent. Beauty comes from a lively mind. It comes from looking the best you can.
Okay, all right, looking the best you can, and that can be in different ways, right? Namita, I want to come to you. I look at you more as this marathon queen. I know you're a designer and everything else, but she can run like 100 miles an hour. I don't know what all you keep doing, but but honestly, fitness is a big thing when it comes to beauty for you. Was that always the case?
Not really. I always believed in fitness. I ran. I've been running for many years. But as I grew and as I became a mother, I realized that a fit body, you have a fitter mind. And to raise children, to raise happy children, and to be happy yourself in the process, you have to be... you have to have a fit mind.
So fitness for you was a definition of strength, in a sense, and that's what you imbibed.
Yes.
So Shreya, when we talk about strength, we talk about vanity, we talk about beauty. What are the experiences you've had? Because I understand that you've modeled, you've acted. I'm wondering what kind of pressures sort of exist amongst those dynamics that you see.
So I just want to say, when you talk about size zero and you talk about the mind, I did go through that. I had a phase when I came back from college and I had put on weight and I was conscious before I started modeling and I lost a lot of weight. I lost about 10 to 15 kilos and I was a size zero. And my mom took me to the doctor and he said, look, your BP is low and if you don't start taking care of yourself, we're going to have to hospitalize you. And what you said about the mind is great because it starts here. And that's what's really scary, because you kind of see yourself as something and then you start... you just kind of become, you are a size zero, but you become zero inside almost.
But how did it start? If you don't mind me asking, how does something like that start? Because you're this stunning,
honestly, it starts when you're a little girl.
Yeah.
It really does. You're kind of, look, I have to say I have a great support system. My mom is amazing. She's always pushed us, follow your dreams. You are beautiful no matter what your size is. But you do open magazines and you do see these beautiful girls and these photoshopped girls. And there is a pressure that you can't kind of escape.
So who's defining these standards? Nonita, everybody can speak at the same time if you wish, but who is it that's defining how beautiful you are. Because I'll tell you something, the minute I step out, the way anyone compliments me is, you've gained weight, you've lost weight. You've gained weight, you've lost weight.
Yeah.
Lost weight, oh, you lost more weight than last time, but now you're looking fatter than last week. So I'm just wondering, is this a cultural thing that we have? Is there a problem that we Indians have, or is it around the world?
No.
Nobody in London says, hey, you've gained weight.
It's not a problem. It's not a. It is that women are women's own worst enemy.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to say this. It has nothing to do with magazines. I know that I've dropped girls who were too skinny from being on the cover. I've said I can see her rib cage. I will never allow this. Indian models are not a size 0. Ask me. We dress them. We see them naked. They're not a size 0. They all are working out. They have beautiful abs. They're strong. But we are cruel to each other.
Women.
We whittle us down to our appearance, which is the nastiest thing you can do, because most of us walk out of the house without combing our hair, without having our game face on, because we do 100 things. You know, my God, the number of times I don't cover the whites in my hair and I'm sitting with mascara going, damn it, damn it, damn it, and it's all over my face instead of my hair. But we're cruel to each other, and that's what we need to question. Donald Trump exists because people hated Hillary Clinton more than they liked him. It's what is wrong with women that we don't like each other?
Yeah.
I think you make a very good point that women can be, and this is great because, hey, we have a room full of women, so maybe we can be the changers. No, but in all seriousness, I think you make a very good point there. Namrata, I want you to talk to me a little bit about the fashion industry, because you are a stakeholder. By the way, I love what you do. I love the designs you make. I think the kind of clothes you make are very, a lot of people can wear them. You cannot say that about every
Real
designer.
people.
Yeah, I'm just saying all sorts of sizes, all sorts of shapes. Who's defining how we look at beauty these days?
You know, I think up until the whole social media thing came on and the whole barrage of attainable media, we looked at cinema and magazines that defined our idea of beauty, and the stars, we idolized them, we looked at them, but that was from afar, you know. But now, adults and teens alike, we look at this social media and we say, me too. And I think that is a big challenge here, because that is increasing the obsessiveness and negativity about our appearance.
Okay.
And I feel you have to have a very balanced approach to how much you take it into your system.
But then how do you curate that? I think that's the point that I'm making, because see, the whole point about going, the digital world that we live in, is that there are a barrage of images around us, right?
But they're all filtered.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Have you
Exactly.
seen the video this beauty Instagrammer did? She used 24 different filters. Her hair
Exactly.
looked like mine, and then it became smooth, and one strand went out. She had lost weight. She'd got a tan. She was on a beach. 24 filters. What do young women do now? This is scary. They don't lead that life. They don't even know which those filters are.
Shreya, you talked about how you were struggling with, I guess, what was an eating disorder at some stage, and then you sort of got over it with your weight.
Yeah.
How are you reacting to what we're talking about here, which is that there's a barrage of imaging out there. We're starting to have honest conversations about how it's all really... is anyone tweeting this? Because I feel like swearing right now, but I'm just wondering. Anyway, no, it's actually, there's a lot of unhealthy imaging that is surrounding us. As someone who's actually been under some kind of pressure on that front, what do you have to say about it?
I think it's great that we're starting conversations. You know, I think, so I was actually reading an article about how it's Fashion Week right now that just happened. There were 27 plus size models that walked the ramp, which I think is great. You know, I mean...
This was at Lakme.
Right.
Not at Amazon, but at Lakme,
You know, and there's... In the US, there are. I don't know if we have any plus size models here, plus size, so to speak. You know, so I think that you need to change it. You need to first recognize it. You need to start talking about it.
Okay.
Right?
Here's my radical idea, okay? And you can tell me what you think about it, which is forget the size and the plus size and the minus size and all that. Is there actual hope that women are going to be defined by something other than their so-called size? Is there any hope for that? Huh? Like, perhaps, you know, what kind of a person you are.
Yeah.
Maybe your career, who knows a bit about your intelligence. I mean, is there some way of pushing that as an idea? And I'm really dead serious about this. Because, for example, I don't open up, like, by the way, I'm not an editor for She the People. I work for an organization called, it used to be Bloomberg TV India, but now it's Business TV India. So I work for a business channel. I don't think we ever have any kind of interviews where I go in thinking, I wonder, is this guy handsome? Is this guy not handsome? I think about his success, what his company has built, what he's achieved. Is there a way of getting that sort of paradigm into a conversation about how you define women, Nonita? Can we actually go beyond
You don't think
beauty?
it's already started? Look at us
It's
here.
very slow. It's very slow.
Everything that's good, slow food, the slow cooking movement, slowly reaching the right place, because then you don't go backwards. But look at this room here. Look at the people who've already spoken. When we write for women in Bazaar, we don't break it into men and women. We do, and I don't do hashtags, so I don't do ungender. I just say interesting people. 9 are women. It's really hard to find the token man. When you write stories on body, you say body positivity. You don't say real girls with real curves, because again, that's a hashtag that I can't stand. So I think it's already happening.
Okay. You know, I want to tell you, this is very unrelated to fashion, but I want to bring this point across. Very recently, I scaled Kilimanjaro, and I don't want to say no. That's besides
As one
the
does,
point.
by the way.
That's besides the point.
Yeah.
But we were a group of 8 people. There were 7 women and 1 man, and I feel so proud that there was a lady who was 52, there was someone who was 50, there was someone who was 45, and there was someone 34. But we were strong women, and I think they were a group of beautiful women. So I think it's already changing.
Yeah.
That they went out there, we were 8 of us, and 7 were women. And that's not how it was planned out. It was not a women's group.
Where does that inflection point come in a woman's life? I mean, I know I'm a very different person from what I was in my 20s, which is, by the way, a very long time ago. I'm sure you can tell. But I'm just saying that, over time, and one of the things I love about being the age that I am right now is that I'm far more confident in my flaws.
That's it. Yeah.
Is that something that's happening?
With me, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah. As I'm growing older, I'm becoming more and more comfortable with who I am, that I'm not just this. I'm kind, I'm hardworking, I'm ambitious, like you said. I'm all these different things on the inside, which...
And how's that consciousness coming about? Is it something that you've worked on, or is it something that you've sort of fallen many times and you've gotten up? Because that's something that I've done. I mean, we're having honest conversations here.
Yeah.
I think I'm much stronger because of everything that I've gone through in life. So that has now become a part of my definition of how I feel. Is that something that you can relate to? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Is there enough editorial about this kind of an emotional landscape that a woman goes through?
You know what's extraordinary about women is they love listening to stories of other women. And we mentor without realizing it. We're an inspiration to each other every single day. Every time a woman shares with me her story of how she got over an illness. And I had the most extraordinary moment. I was sitting with this young girl, 32, breast cancer survivor. And she said, Nonita, I used to be so beautiful. I had this long hair. Now I wear my hair short. And I don't think about beauty in terms of my hair or my face, but I think of beauty in terms of my health. And I actually cried. I said, today is a turning point in my life. I went back and changed my entire beauty lineup for the magazine. I threw out every story that was superficial. And I said, today we stand for this woman. If she reads my magazine, I've done a good job. Here, that's how we inspire each other. We mentor and inspire every day.
While we're talking about inspiring each other, let's talk about something I think is kind of related to the whole dynamic of beauty, which is the word insecurity, right? Insecurity itself is something that's, for some reason, I feel that it's not very far away from this whole idea of beauty. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for you? I want to just go around. Does insecurity kind of tie into this whole idea of what beauty should be? Because once again, I'm trying to address where these problems are coming in from.
I've been lucky. I've worked with so many young people.
Yeah.
My whole career, I've only worked with women. And we've been very kind to each other.
Yeah.
My pet name at work was Mother, and I was so grateful it was not Stepmother. Insecurity doesn't exist if you have a great support system.
Fantastic.
Insecurity doesn't exist if you do each other's hair and you laugh and you share your favorite red lipstick. And I always think of the time under the Taliban when women went behind closed doors to paint their nails and wear red lipstick. not because we're bimbos, but because that defined us as individuals.
Yeah.
The minute you become an individual, you're not insecure. Yes, there's insecurity, but I think it depends on you. I wouldn't take it as a group onus. If you look at Sonam Kapoor and want to look like her, you can't. Get over it. But, you know, she's a great person. You're equally fabulous. Move on.
Yeah. So this is going back to what Shreya talked about, which is the insecurities come from within your mind as well. You can get societal pressure in there, but I think now that whole conversation is changing. There are two things that we're talking about here, which is the definition of the word beauty. Beauty itself is a very complicated word, but a lot of this is also coming in from what's being put in your mind, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So as this session is going to be coming to a close, but the main point, I think we was trying to sort of talk about the definitions of beauty. Just before we close, I just want to talk about the fact that as stakeholders, and I think all of us are stakeholders, everyone in this room is a stakeholder actually in terms of this conversation, what do you think your biggest responsibility is as someone that people look towards in terms of an icon of beauty or someone who shapes the conversation? Namita, I'm going to start with you.
For me, I think I want to be, I reach out to every kind of shape, size, and woman. And to me, that's my biggest success.
Okay.
That's
Shreya?
Just to be myself. You know,
That's
to
lovely.
wake up every day and say, look, this is who I am and I'm doing the best that I can, and hopefully have conversations with other women, other aspiring actresses, my, contemporaries, and yeah, hope that
Okay.
confidence just...
Nonita, any thoughts on this?
We've redefined beauty in the magazine to say wellness and well-being.
Yeah.
You know, harmony with yourself and the world around you. For me, that's beautiful.
Okay. And I guess if I have to say something, I don't know, I basically anchor this show also called Women Mean Business. And the whole point of that show is to put in women who are doing very well in their field. We kind of don't even touch upon gender, but my idea of doing this is to make things much more neutral. You know, it's not to define women by their beauty. It's about other things. What do you do? Are you on top of your game? Etc., etc. Well, anyway, thank you very much for having sat through this session. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I loved it.